Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Today my presentation is on Microsoft. In my overview, I'm going to talk about the introduction, the vision and the mission, and the history of Microsoft, and its worldwide presence, its products and services, and just a little bit of fun facts. Microsoft is an American multinational corporation that develops, manufactures, and licenses, and supports, and sells computer software, computer electronics, and personal computer and services. It was founded in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but its current headquarters is Redmond, Washington. Microsoft is the world's largest software company, measured by revenues, and also is one of the world's most valuable companies. Microsoft's vision was a computer on every desk in every home. Its mission was to enable people and businesses throughout the world to realize their full potential. Now we're about to go on a little bit of the history of Microsoft. On April 4th, Bill Gates and Paul Allen officially started the company. They sold BASIC, the first PC computer language program, to MITS Computer, Microsoft's first customer. In 1977, Microsoft opened its first international office after forming an agreement with Oski Magazine in Japan. In 1980, it entered the OS business with its version of Unix called Xenix. In 1981, Microsoft Inc. is incorporated. IBM uses Microsoft's 16-bit operating system for its first computer. In 1983, Microsoft introduces the Microsoft Mouse and Word for MS-DOS 1.00. Paul Allen resigned after being diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease that year. In 1985, Microsoft and IBM joined a joint development agreement and launched Windows 1.0. In 1986, it moved its headquarters to Redmond, and a few weeks later, the company went public. In 1989, Microsoft co-developed SQL Server 1.0. Does anybody know what SQL is? Structured Query Language. Does anybody know what it does? It's a standard language for database management systems used for performing tasks. Examples of this is like select, insert, update, and delete. In 1990, it introduces Microsoft Office and Windows 3.0. In 1992, Windows 3.1. The company now has over 25 million licensed Windows users. In 1994, Microsoft released Windows NT. In 1995, an expanded product line into computer networking and World Wide Web released Windows 95 and bundled an online service, MSN. Sold 1 million copies in 4 days. In 1996, branching out, Microsoft and NBC Universal created a 24/7 cable news station. Does anybody know what that station is? Right, yes, that's correct. In 2000, the first beta of .NET framework was released, and Bill Gates handed over the CEO position to Steve Ballmer and created a new position for himself called Chief Software Executive. In 2001, Microsoft Windows XP was released internationally. Later that year, the company released the Xbox gaming system. And in 2003, Microsoft launched Windows Server. In 2007, Windows Vista and Microsoft Office 2007 was released at the same time. In 2008, Bill Gates leads Microsoft to pursue charity work. And in 2009, Microsoft will open up a chain of retail stores. Later that year, the first store opened in Scottsdale, Arizona. The same day, Windows 7 was released to the public. And then in 2010, Microsoft revamped its mobile OS to compete with Apple. And in 2011, Microsoft underwent a gradual rebranding and previewed Windows 8. In 2012, Microsoft launches Windows 8, Outlook Webmail, Web Server 2012, and Surface. And in 2013, Windows 8.1 was released to consumers along with Office 2013, as well as Connect Xbox One. 2014, Microsoft acquired Nokia and Mojang, a video development company best known for Minecraft for y'all video games. Steve Ballmer stepped down as the CEO and was replaced by Satya Nadella. And here's a short video on the history of Microsoft.
But how did they gain this position, and how did it all begin for the Windows OS? This is the history of Microsoft Windows. Windows 1.0 was released in November of 1985 and wasn't particularly successful. It was designed primarily as an extended operating environment for MS-DOS. It really was more of a companion setting for DOS, so it really wasn't a full, complete operating system. Of course, this was at a time when Apple were suing Microsoft over borrowing a little bit too much of their UI design from the Mac. Microsoft didn't really have much success with Windows until Windows 3.0 was released in May of 1990. Its main strides forward came in the form of improved multitasking thanks to the introduction of virtual memory. The interface finally began to take shape and could take advantage of Intel processors as high as 80386 and enhanced 386 chips. Following the success of Windows 3.11, Windows 95 made its debut in August of 1995 and would forever cement Microsoft's place in the home and business PC market. It now adopted Windows NT's Win32 API, although much of the code remains 16-bit due to compatibility, performance, and development time constraints. As you may remember, DOS never truly went away until Windows 2000. It remained possible for users to drop down to DOS to run older applications or to run universal applications in a more stable environment. DOS was even briefly loaded upon boot up. Windows 95 was a major computing milestone, delivering a true multimedia experience that had previously been impossible. Games, video, CD-ROMs, productivity programs, and a suite of useful applications and networking capabilities, as well as significant peripheral support, were all established in Windows 95. Although it's fair to say the OS was pretty seriously unstable. I got my fair share of these kinds of error messages in my time. Windows NT would become the bedrock of computing in the business world and would form the backbone of releases beyond Windows 98. 98 itself added new hardware drivers and a FAT32 file system supporting larger than 2 GB disk partitions. The addition of USB support brought Windows 98 into a more modern technological period. Windows ME, which stood for Millennium Edition, was the final DOS-based Windows OS and included Windows Movie Maker and Windows Media Player 7, along with System Restore, which would remain a popular feature in Windows XP, Vista, and 7. However, everything changed once again with Windows XP in 2001. The most advanced OS at the time, it would become the most popular and would remain actively supported by Microsoft until April of 2014. It can still be found on plenty of computers worldwide today, although from a security standpoint, you should probably get off that OS very quickly. Windows Vista followed in 2006, and although it was a visually appealing OS, it was a disaster. Too slow and far too incompatible with legacy software. Microsoft raced to get Windows 7 released by 2009. Windows 7 remains a fine OS, stable, fast, and versatile. It's everything Vista failed to be. Windows 8 would sadly prove controversial once again. Its modern UI works great in tablet mode, but doesn't really work as well when you're using a laptop or desktop machine. Thankfully, Windows 10 will see the restoration of things like the Start menu, which we lost in Windows 8, and of course greater flexibility across all device types, including smartphone, tablet, laptop, and desktop. The future of Microsoft Windows will likely be driven by the ever-evolving post-PC era, and will no doubt require require Microsoft to rethink their business model. Considering Linux, Android, iOS, and OS X are all free now, the Redmond tech giant will need to consider making Windows free also. So in today's tech question, I'm asking you, what version of Windows are you currently running, and what was the very first version of Windows you ever used? Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and of course, you can subscribe for more by hitting that big red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Please follow me on social media and check out my previous video over my left.
Now here are some of the Windows software that was released. Here's a timeline when it was released. And here are some of Microsoft's major competitors. Now I'm about to talk about Microsoft's worldwide presence. It has 119 subsidiaries, has $508 billion in partner revenue. It has 128,076 employees in 191 countries, and it also has 640,000 partners. Here are some of the products owned by Microsoft: Windows, DirectX, Xbox game console, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Windows Server, Skype, Nokia, Visual Studio, Dynamics, Azure, and Surface. Here are some of the services it's owned too. Bing, Internet Explorer, MSN, MSNDN, OneDrive, Outlook.com, and TechNet. Here are some fun facts. Paul Allen came up with the original name of Microsoft, the combination of the word microprocessor and software. The biblet logo shown below refers to a stylized O and was apparently once named of the burger served in Microsoft's company office. Here are some evolution of the Microsoft logo. The first one to the one now. And here's a video, short video on Microsoft's brand.
It's what is it that we can do that is unique, that is impactful.
When Ray was 11 months old, he was fitted for his first pair of prostheses.
We're going to empower every individual and every organization to do more and achieve more.
We'd use Microsoft technology to analyze Braylon's gait mechanics.
It's this process of continuous renewal, of showing courage in the face of reality.
I think the technology has changed Braylon's life by opening up the world for him.
Showing that courage in the face of opportunity.
Does anybody know where the commercial came from? Super Bowl. By the way, the Patriots won. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you.